In the remote Nevada desert, Area 51 is a secret military test site. It sits protected from prying eyes by a 25-mile buffer zone, mountains, and an inhospitable terrain. 2 teams of investigators are on a stakeout, documenting everything they see and hear. If all goes as planned and base security doesn't interfere, they'll reconnoiter 24 hours later. Team leader Chuck Clark and military aviation expert Guy Norris will set up camp on a mountaintop, armed with a telescope and camera.
We seem to be, well, completely in the middle of nowhere, so...
We're 22 miles into the backcountry here.
This is the easy part. They still face a 2-hour climb up the sheer face of Tikaboo Peak.
Wow, so that's how high then?
That's around just a few feet below 8,000. We're roughly at 7,000 right here.
So we're really on our own out here, aren't we?
Yeah, you're on your own. You could be in a whole bunch of trouble up here if you broke a leg or something.
Chuck Clark knows what trouble is. Since George Knapp's broadcast of Chuck's discovery that Area 51 security was hiding motion detectors outside its legal perimeter, the men in black decided to teach Chuck a lesson. While Chuck was immersed in space imaging's model of Area 51, the feds were swooping down on his desert home.
FBI agents have confirmed that a search warrant was served last night on the home of a self-described military watchdog in the tiny town of Rachel, near the mysterious Area 51 military base. It's an exclusive story you will only see here.
We've learned this action was initiated by the Joint Terrorism Task Force. The search warrant remains sealed, and the FBI won't say what was seized from the home of Rachel resident Chuck Clark.
Well, I was just driving over to Dave's house, and I noticed that there was a whole bunch of guys standing around over at Chuck's.
Bill Whiffen lives down the road from Chuck Clark and knew he was out of town. At first he thought Chuck was being robbed, so he grabbed his camera and started snapping. The men and women you see are members of the Joint Terrorism Task Force.
There was about 10 cars and a lot more than 10 people there. I recognized the badges and I saw the FBI on the jacket. I got pictures of them making boxes, going in and out. And I got one of the hard drives coming out.
As Chuck returns to Rachel and his home, he has no idea what has happened.
Let's see. Well, that's weird.
For Chuck, his work, his privacy, his security are all suddenly gone. He finds the warrant and an invoice of confiscated items waiting on the dining room table.
It's district court search warrant, and they've got their card. And I guess that's an inventory. Let's see here. U.S. District Court search warrant. Ooh, Nevada Joint Terrorism Task Force. That's impressive.
Every inch of Chuck's place has been thoroughly searched.
Basically, they took a whole list of stuff. Scanners, radios. They took 6 floppy disks, 15 CDs, Area 51 photos, film negatives, 2 photo albums. They took the monitor. I don't know why the hell they take a monitor. You know, what information is in a monitor? The phone.
Word spreads quickly. Calls come from friends and neighbors.
Hello? Oh, I understand some feds visited my place while I was gone. No, I haven't been disappeared yet. That'll be tonight. I'm doing things I know they don't want me to do, but I'm not doing anything illegal. You know, I think they resent the fact that we were starting to publicize their sensors on public land.
Now, the message they were trying to send to him was knock it off.
I know what I can legally get away with, and I know what I can't get away with, and I push it right to the edge, but I don't go past that edge. And that's what's got him so irritated, that I'm not intimidated by him. I get right in their face with the camera lens.
Aware that the government is investigating Chuck, his other teammates, security expert Mike Johnson and audio expert Bob Grove, take up their part of the mission. They are just 2 miles from the rear entrance to Area 51, and they're certain that security can see them coming.
There's several ways that they can sense, of course.
I'd imagine they're listening to us right now.
Well, it could be.
They're certainly watching us, but I'd imagine they're listening pretty close. Fence line right up there.
They decide to walk the fence line, keeping their eye on the guardhouse.
Let's see what we've got down here.
There's some type of sensing unit on that fence right there, that white box.
Could be, could be. Take a look and see what that is.
Security is well aware of them.
That's far enough from me.
Yeah, let's check the other side of the road, see if there's anything there.
From 100 yards away, they get their first glimpse of the private security force contracted to guard Area 51. Known to insiders as the Camo Dudes, so called because of their desert camouflage uniforms. Bob and Mike want a closer look, but they know one step over the line would put their mission in jeopardy. This is not the time to test the boundaries.
I don't want to end up in jail.
Yeah.
Mike and Bob make a quick strategic retreat. Up next, Area 51 comes alive.
Unbelievable.
And we go inside Area 51 with Mr. X.
Absolute power is true. Corruption, absolutely.
When we return. Two crews of renegade researchers battle fatigue in the harsh desert environment as part of a 24-hour vigil to uncover the mystery of a place whose existence is still denied by the government.
I should have been in training for this.
Well,
Back on the mountain, Chuck and Guy make their way up the dangerous path to the summit of Tikaboo Peak, carrying a 50-pound telescope and gear for the cold night ahead.
the first half mile here up to the first ridge is killer. It's steep and loose. And it gets steeper as we get higher.
Their destination, the only available view of Area 51.
Well, here we are up top.
Wow. That is so spectacular, isn't it?
So what do you think? Is it worth the climb?
Yeah, I mean, I'm finding it difficult to describe to you actually what it's like. I think the weird thing is that although we're here on planet Earth, you feel like you're on the edge of another world out there.
Looking out across the desert through the heat haze, there is another world, one the government has tried to hide from prying eyes. It's Area 51.
Yeah, I can see some buildings glinting sort of thing in the sun, and I can make out one of the runways. Unbelievable. I can't believe I'm actually seeing it. It's unbelievable. After all this time, it's incredible.
It's not really a myth.
Yeah, it really exists.
Chuck and Guy hurry to make camp on the bare mountaintop, all too aware that if they can see the base from here, the base can see them. They're 26 miles away and must rely on Chuck's telescope and telephoto camera to let them spy on and document any activity at Area 51.
With the eyepiece in place, it will give us about a 50-power look.
Oh, yeah.
Both men know Area 51 exists to test the ultra-secret new technology right out of science fiction.
In terms of what could be going on there, there's been a growing speculation that anti-gravity propulsion, this sort of so-called holy grail of aerospace, could be on the verge of becoming reality.
There are quite a few stories about things that seem to be anti-gravity, and I've seen a few things over the years also.
Like what?
Objects that rise slowly, sort of hang motionless for minutes at a time, and then suddenly dart halfway across the sky in a second or two and stop instantly, or make a high-speed V-turn.
That's incredible, isn't it?
You never know what you're going to see. They're testing all sorts of things here.
On the desert floor, disguised as campers, Bob Grove and Mike Johnson are setting up to monitor anything coming or going inside Area 51. They won't be able to see directly into Area 51, but